very good afternoon to all of you. How have all of you been doing the last 1 week or so? Now, today's topic is on the role of a leader during a crisis. Recently in Malaysia, we just had a great flood in the central region of the country. All right, and probably it was once in a 50-year kind of flood, and it really tested people who are leaders, whether they are real leaders, in times of this flood or crisis. So of course there are times of crisis that and where all leaders are being tested, right? Whether they are of leaders material, good or bad, you will know. So wise leaders will always recognize that this test will come, and they must be prepared as much as possible. Now, what is the role of a leader, especially, in a crisis? A strong leader must plan well before the crisis comes. All right, of course, there is a Malay proverb that says, sediakan payung sebelum hujan, prepare the umbrella before the rain comes. So you must share the vision and goals, but along with that, you must also anticipate the risk that you will encounter along the way. You must create a crisis management plan, and now the fact is that it is like an insurance, all right, where you may reluctantly invest in it. Of course, it is not cheap, and you will hope that you will never actually have to use it. But it is invaluable when the need arises. So what are the action steps to take, right? So do you have a plan for a crisis? Do you spend time with your leadership team asking questions like what if questions, all right, and resolving the problems on at least theoretically, all right, before the real thing happens? So leaders must plan ahead, must plan well before the crisis comes. The next one, all right, is act swiftly when the crisis hits. You see, once a crisis hits, there is no time for you to plan. I repeat that again. When you are hit with the crisis, when the flood comes, especially after, during the heavy rain, there's no time at all for you to plan. And it is the time to act. And a strong leader will not only act, but will act swiftly, will act fast. The role of a leader in a crisis is to what? To create, to support, and to empower the team that implement the plan. While we all admire a leader who will roll up his or her sleeves, we have seen that, so many politicians, different, doing that, and pitch in where needed. But what we really need is a leader that will stay focused from a high level on what? Empowering and supporting the team to carry out the plan. Right? This is very, very important. And a lot of leaders fail to see this. So what are the actions to be taken? What? Have you identified the key team, the core team that you have that will implement the plan when a crisis hits you? Have you trained them for what will be required of them? Do you have a means for a quick authorization to occur when it is needed? Right? So, leaders, please act swiftly when the crisis hits, right? And not going down and show that you are, there to, how much can you do alone? You need your team to execute it. The next point, all right, is inspire, encourage, and assure the team and those affected. You see, once the initial actions are taken and the immediate steps are addressed, there will be a period where exhaustive reality, realignment with a new norm must happen. It is at this point where the leader must step in and to thank the team who have worked so diligently to mitigate the situation and to assure that those affected, all right, that there will be hope beyond the current circumstances. So it did not stop during the crisis. It actually goes on after the crisis. So what are some of the steps or the actions that you need to take as a leader? Are you developing a strong mindset for times like this, when you will need to transfer the mindset to those who follow you, especially the core management team or the core team that you have? So inspire, encourage, and assure the team and those who are affected. Once the crisis and its initial mitigations are completed, there must be a time for rebuilding. It is up to you again, all right? To again, to create the team, to support the structure for that time of growth. And along with the crisis management plan, there must also be a rebuilding plan, picking up the pieces, all right? And to help them to restart. A lot of them, during the flood, their houses went underwater, totally submerged by the water or the flood. And they lost everything, including not only their life savings, their electrical items, their furniture, the fixtures and fittings, including their cars, their motorcycles, everything gone. So a lot of leaders miss this step. You cannot afford to wait until the crisis to plan for what comes after the crisis. Let me repeat that again. You cannot afford to wait until after the crisis to plan for what comes after the crisis. So the quicker you as a leader, all right, can facilitate the crisis management to mitigation to regrowth cycle, the quicker the upturn will happen. Right? So, and what are the actions, all right, that you can take right now before the crisis comes? Develop a plan for rebuilding and growth. So there are added value in this exercise. You know why? Because it gives you a zero balance point, and you may inspire ideas for current growth as well, right? So it's very important to plan not only what to do during the crisis, but also after the crisis. You need to pick up the pieces and help them reset and rebuild for future growth. That's very, very important. And it is during this time, the crisis time and after crisis time, if you do not show care, when you want to show care, when do you want to show, as an employer, as a leader, where's your empathy? This is the time to do it, all right? And not during good times, all right? Now, a leader needs to know that they are not strong on their own. Simple, right? You must know that you cannot act alone. All right? So, a strong leader knows that they are not strong in their own right. So, their individual capacity is limited. But you must know that with the right plan, the right action, the right mindset, and the right team, it is possible to not only get through the crisis, but you can grow and you can thrive, on the other side of it. So always do that, all right? Don't just keep it to yourself or you think you can do it. But at the end of the day, if you keep everything on your own head and your own mind and you don't pass it on to your people and you don't pass this mindset, things will not happen. So once again, I hope this short video of mine resonates with you, and it will be a simple guide to you, before, during, and after a crisis, So really, I would like to thank all of you, all right, especially for the last 1 year, for listening to my video, all right, and see if you like my content and you want to see much more of such content, please do me a favor, all right, like, share, and subscribe. Okay, as I always say, leadership matters because people matter. Stay safe, stay healthy, be a blessing. Wishing all of you Happy New Year. May 2022 be a year where you will double your growth, a year where you will achieve all your heart's desire and hit your goals. All right? See you in the next video. Bye-bye.